Hey there, barbecue family. As everyone knows, food prices on the rise. It doesn't seem like they're going to go down anytime soon. A great example of that is the Big Mac meal. I mean, this thing is now $18. I mean, who would have thought, right? And so when we're thinking about barbecuing for our friends, it can actually leave us broke. So what I wanted to show you guys is how you can make a delicious steak dinner for under $15. Yes, it can be done. And we're gonna pair the steak with a baked potato and a side salad. Let's go. So we're gonna start with some choice New York steak. As you can see, these are 22.44. They have nice amount of fat and marbleization on them, so they'll be pretty tasty. Now, we're gonna do a couple of things to make these a little more tender. Obviously, we're saving money by buying choice meat, so we're gonna season them beforehand and let them sit on the wire rack. Now the first thing we're going to do is we're going to pat them dry. You want to remove any excess moisture. Please don't wash your steaks. I see some do it. It's ridiculous. Just pat them dry with a paper towel. Now I actually like using salt lick. It's my favorite rub. Some people like salt and pepper. Use whatever you like. This is just great and easy. Right? We're going to sprinkle it evenly. And don't be afraid if you do a little more than needed. Just sprinkle it on there. And then we're going to rub it in throughout the meat. Just rub the seasoning throughout the meat. Try to get an even amount in and do it on both sides. Make sure you have a good coat. That'll add a lot of flavor. Now what you can do is, I like to let the meat sit for at least an hour with the rub on. You can also let it sit overnight on the wire rack in your fridge. That's going to take some moisture out of the meat, concentrate the fat, make it a lot more flavorful, all right? It's called a dry brine, and it's great. Now, guys, we can't make a whole meal just out of meat, especially when on a budget. So we're gonna have some vegetables for sides: basic cucumber and tomato salad, some potatoes, and some chopped up cabbage that we're gonna use. Now, all this didn't cost much, right? The potatoes were $6, and all the vegetables were around $3, including tax. So just chop up your tomatoes. And then go on, chop up your cucumbers, put all those bad boys in a bowl, and I just use the basic seasoning. We got salt, pepper, and olive oil. All right, keep it simple, keep it classy. Mix it all up and put it to the side. Let's go on the potatoes next. Just fill a pot with water. Then we're gonna just drop the potatoes in there and make sure you give it a good wash. After you wash the potatoes and clean it up, we're going to stab them up after you drain the water out, right? This is going to make sure they don't explode in the oven. And I just put them straight on the wire rack for at about 400 degrees. It's going to stay there for 30 minutes. Now today we're using the Weber kettle, the most versatile grill. Everyone has these. This is a trail technique where you got two coals with one on top. We'll keep it between 225 to 250. And we're going to use a chimney starter to give it a go. This is about a third of the chimney starter, which is a little too much. I should have used less. So that actually made my grill a little hot. So you're going to flip it over right on the edge and get a little pile going. Again, this is a little too many coals. I should have used a little less in the end. So you just need about a handful, maybe 5 or 10 coals, probably the most. So just stack everything on a pile and let it go. Now I'm going to add a piece of wood here. This is cherry wood, but use any type of wood you want. If you add wood chips, you might want to soak them and drain them, so make sure they're not dripping, but this is going to add tons of flavor to your grill. Indirect smoking, so you don't want any of your meat on top of the coals. Keep the holes open on top and bottom, and our meat will smoke for about an hour. 1 hour in, looking good. You know, regularly I'd use a temperature gauge, but I just eyeballed it, and these steaks are still going to be great. They're fatty. And even if you overcook them a little bit, they're going to have tons of flavor in there. So, as you can see, we got a lot of coals left over, which is okay. We're going to sear the steak, and we're just going to mix these coals right up. Kingsford is actually my preferred brand of charcoal, and this is why, right? You get tons left over, so we're going to mix them up for the final sear of the steak. Should take about 10 to 15 minutes to light, and then you're ready to put your steak on. I like to give it a minute on each side. Every 30 seconds I give it a 90-degree flip. It doesn't need more than that. The fire is going to be piping hot, and you already smoked the steak, so that should be good to go. Take them off the grill, and we're going to let them rest for about 5 to 10 minutes. They're going to have a great smell, great flavor profile. You can see the seasoning is still on there, right? So it's going to be delicious. Now, don't worry about perfection. If this is the first time you're making these steaks, you might make a mistake. If you want the perfect temperature, then you're going to want to use a meat thermometer, right? So what's the result? My steak was medium well, but it was still delicious, and it was under 15 bucks for this entire meal. So try it out, give it a go, let me know what you think. Great meal, under 15 bucks a person. You know, everyone's trying to save some money. Give it a go, feed your friends, have a great time. Let's go.